Hello friends, Cheryl here with Pulp, and we're back with the last installation of unfinished projects. So I worked on these signatures and I got them all done. I'll give you a flip through at the end. I won't go through them all now. I've got the cover here. It's all nice and dry. I did put these ladies on the inside. I had taken these oops, let me get it on camera. I had taken these Tim Holtz ladies and decorated them with skirts and some jewelry, and I just thought they were so cute, so I put them in the inside, and then I've got my 2 signatures. There was no way I was getting 3 signatures in this book. In fact, a nice big chunky 1 signature probably would have been fine, because it's a little chunky, but that's okay. All right, before we sew the signatures in, I do want to decorate the cover so I don't have to try to do it over that chunky journal. And I'm going to do a couple of things here. Got this lace. See if I can tell which side is. I guess this side is the I'm going to put it down here like this, and then I'm going to wrap it around. Actually, let's just put it, that might not be big enough. Well, I guess we don't have to wrap it around the back. Let's do this. Let's take a piece. I'm not going to wrap it around the back side of the spine because I really like this lace, and I want to use it, and the spine is a little bit too wide. It's really hard to tell if there's a right side and a wrong side. So let's put this right here, this right here, and then this will fold around. Okay. And I don't know, but I'm guessing I'm going to have to use some Fabri-Tac. So let's put just a thin bead of Fabri-Tac on here. And I'm actually going to put it up over the top so I can cut it and make sure it's cut straight. Okay. Perfect. And then these will lay down just a little bit on the back side. So the next bead of glue I'm going to run is over these little circles here. Come on. Fabri-Tac's getting awful thick, and I can't get the cap off to put some acetone in there. I can't get it off. Okay. So there's that. This needs to come over just a little bit. All right, there's that. And then let's do this side. I'm not going to put a whole lot on the cover. I had a little book plate I was going to put on it, but it was just so heavy with the metal. that I decided not to. Decided it would just be overkill. So there we go. Just a nice little bit of lace. Not too much, because I also didn't want to cover up the flowers on the page. So let's just a little bit of glue right there. And let's cut this part off. I really like how this has turned out, and I am going to sell this journal, so if anybody's interested, let me know. Look at that, just a little bit of... Now, the other thing that I'm going to do, and I'm going to use my art glitter glue for this, is I have some enamel dots, and then I also have some enamel dots that I made. And these are really fun, but they're going to fit this really well. Do you see these? Those are just like a dot of, I don't remember now what I used, if it was like glossy accents or just some glue, or I don't remember exactly what it was. But I put, hang on, I'm going to pull up I have a picture here of where I wanted each one of those to go, and I wanted to remember it. I just put down something sticky, and then I put the glitter in it. And they made little... Oh, no, that's not what that was. That was actually stickles. It was stickles with the glitter in it, and I had some gold. That's what it was. That's what it was. All right, so I want to put I've got some yellow enamel dots. See, this was the book plate that I had, and I just thought it was too big and bulky for this little journal. I don't have a smaller one. Oops, not that. I'll put this on up here. So I'm just putting these in the centers of the flowers. This one. And this one. And I think I'm missing one of these little things. It's around here somewhere. I'll put on 3, and then I'll find the 4th one to put on. Okay, so we're going to put 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah. I should have 4 of them. So I'm going to do that, so they're a little sparkly. And I do have another one around here somewhere. Oh, there it is. There it is. I found it. I found it. Okay. All right, so there we go. What do you guys think of that? We got a little sparkle in some of them and the yellow in the other ones. And then the other thing that I have is I wanted to decorate the tab so that it was clear what it was. So I took some bits of lace Let's turn that the other way. I took some bits of lace so it would have some texture there and be a little bit ruffly. And then I'm going to put this key down on here. And that'll be the tab for opening the journal. Okay? So let's use the Fabri-Tac because that probably is going to be a better job. I just wanted to have something over the come on. Oh, I got to get this thing off of here. I got to get some pliers and get this open because it is so sticky. And I've got to get some acetone in there to. Do y'all do that? If you use Fabri-Tac, you put a little bit of acetone in your bottle when it gets too thick? Works like a charm. Okay, and let's put this one. Right about there. And I have this one. These are just little scraps of lace that I had in my lace scrap jar. That first piece I put down came off of a much bigger piece, and I just tore it. I just ripped it. You can see here where I ripped it, and created a little grungy piece that I could put down. All right. Let's put that down. Okay. Then we've got this piece. And then finally this piece. All right, so there's just a little cluster of pieces of lace, and I love it. You could cut this off if you want. I think I'm going to leave it there. Now, we got to put a whole lot of Fabri-Tac on the back of this. I should have got my hot glue out. But I think this will work. And this will be the key to opening our little journal. What do you guys think about that? I love that. All right. So now we need to make a template for sewing in these signatures. And I'm also going to put some eyelets in front and back. Although we may have to take this one off right here and put this eyelet in here. We'll see. Yeah, I think we might have to do that. And put that eyelet right where that's kind of the middle. So let's there we go. Let's put that not right at the edge, but close. Okay. There we go on that. And then what I'm going to do is mark a little circle on there so that we get it in roughly the same place. If I can see where I drew my circle. Well, I can't see it. There we go. Now I can see it. And so did I tell you guys the story about my eyelet setters? In the process of cleaning my room, my craft room, I had two of them. I had this great big one, and then I had the regular sized one, the smaller one. So I had them both. And in the process of cleaning my room, I think I need a little bit bigger one. Yeah. Now they say do the one that looks like the flying saucer, but there's a couple of them that look like that to me. I'm going to try this one and see what happens. I packed away my eyelet setters thinking like I'll, get them out when I'm putting stuff back and I'll put them away. Well, that didn't work as well as I wanted it to. Let's try this other one. Let's see if I can get it to go down farther in the back. I couldn't find them. I looked for, a couple of months. I looked for those things. And I could not find them. All right, now when this happens, I have got a little hammer here. Can you see, or am I off camera? It's one of these little tiny. And I just hammer that down a little bit flat because it wasn't down all the way, and it was kind of like, sticky, like it would catch on things. Yeah, that one did it too. Maybe the eyelets were too deep for this particular piece. Okay, folks, welcome me back because my camera shut off, and as I was putting in these little eyelets, this one got a little wonky, but we're going to put stuff in it, and that'll take care of it. Okay. So the trick there was to use my hammer and flatten it down. Now, here's what I'm thinking I want to do. I have this seam bind. I have different colors here. I have some seam binding that is lace. No, I don't like the green. I have one that's gold. This isn't bad. This one isn't bad. Oh, come on. That actually is pretty nice, isn't it? It's a pretty nice color. I was going to do this gold seam binding, but I think I like this little lace. I've got like a buttery yellow like this, but I don't know, I'm really liking this. And so what I'm going to do, I want to have it long enough to tie. So I'm going to cut, I don't need it quite that long. I'm going to cut a couple of pieces the same length, and then we'll put them through the eyelets with the lark's head knot. And then after that's all done, we'll sew in the signatures. And then we'll do a final flip through. All right. You know, that camera dying only happens when I have my when I have my mouse down on my table. I think I hit it or something, and it I think it takes the camera. It shuts off the camera. All right, let's do this. Okay. There's that one. And this, folks, is seam binding lace. I don't know if you guys have ever worked with it. It's really cute. It is a seam binding, but it is also lace. So you kind of get the best of both worlds there. All right, and then that will just tie up there when we're all done. All right, so that decision has been made. Now we need to make a template. And I don't think I'm going to go to a lot of hoopla making this because it's small. It's only 2. This spine is about 3/4 of an inch. So if I go in a quarter, skip a quarter, and then do another one. All right, so no, I better do it the right way. Otherwise, I will do it wrong, and then I'll be mad. Especially if I'm going to sell this journal. All right. Okay, so let's go. That's about it. And then I'll measure top to bottom. And I'm going to measure top to bottom even though, you know, everything may not go all the way to the top. We'll still measure there, and that way the measurements will be correct. Okay, really, really, really important, you guys. Mark your top. Because I don't care how good you are, if you get it this way and then you do your signatures this way, things won't line up. All right, so what did we say we wanted to do here? I want to do 3/4. So I want to go 1/4. And 1/2. And I want to go, that gives, let's see, 1.25 quarters. And that gives 3, 1/4 gaps in between. And then we'll draw a line down here. All this measuring. Do you guys hate measuring as much as I do? I like to eyeball things, but, sometimes that just doesn't work. My eyeballs don't measure quite the same. All right, now I'm going to do a 3-hole pamphlet stitch. This is not quite 6 inches long, so I want to go down I think 1 inch is good because this is such a short. On the taller journals, I like to leave a little more space at the top. So I'm going to go 1 inch here, 1 inch here. I'm going to go 1 inch here. And then in between them, just about almost 4 inches. So I'm going to go here and here. All right. And there is my template. Okay. So now, and I bought this nifty little bookmaker's kit. I never had one before, and I thought, I see people use them. Oh, there's a little ruler in there. All kinds of nifty stuff in here. There's the second awl that I want to use, and then I've got some different colored threads. I'll pick the thread in just a minute. All right, let's put a book underneath, and let me get some washi tape. I'll get some washi tape and tape this down so it doesn't move on me. And I'm going to put it right between the seams. I'm going to center it top and bottom. Right in between the seams. One right there. And one right there. All right. Then we'll take, this all has a hole in it, and I don't know what that's for. I guess for poking through like heavy threads. Like I guess if I wanted to poke through, I don't know, a piece of leather or something. And then I'm just going to poke holes wherever I have those cross marks. Pretty sure that's going all the way through, but we'll look when I get to the other side, or when I get these done. We'll turn it over and see if they went all the way through. I probably should have waited until I sewed the signatures in to put that lace on, but that's all right. Because that would cover up the strings. Silly me. All right, let's see if it went through. It did. Let's see if I can lift this up or if it's down now. It's down. Okay, well, we'll have some. Let's pick a color here. How about, oh, this is waxed. Very nice. if we use this color that has a little bit of a yellow tinge, and so it'll kind of match. Ooh, that's real waxy cord. Okay, we're going to have to put those same holes now into the signatures. Now, this is where it gets a little bit tricky. And I am going to see where it went on my scoreboard. Oh, there it is. And I am going to score just one of these. I don't have to score both. I just need one. I need to bend one so I can put it in the, come on, too wide. Let's see if this one's any better. Okay. Let's try plan B. Let's take the back side of these tweezers. The tips on those are too fat and they keep there we go. Now let's try this. Oops. Okay. The back side of the scissors will just fine. All right, now I'm going to bend this so we can fit this in the middle of the signature. Now, what I need to do here is I need to go through this and make sure they're all aligned, and then we'll do a flip through and I'll show you all the stuff that I put in here. Okay, there's that and that and that and that. Okay. So here's the center page on this one. Isn't that pretty? Okay, so now I need to decide how far I kind of want to center them, because this is actually another little mini cover here. On each signature has its own little cover. So I want to get these papers in here as tight as I can so that they okay. And this is where I always screw up. If I'm going to screw up, this is it. Okay. So let's put that in there like that. And then let's clamp this. And see, that didn't even work. Not even in the middle of the cover of the signature. Actually, I don't even have it on the cover. There's the top. Oh, this is the hardest part for me, and I hate doing it on camera. But you might as well see the struggle and understand it, because you'll have to go through the same things. All right. There we go. Clamp that there. And if you do this right, then sewing it should be pretty easy. I'm looking for my other clamp. There it is. And see, once again, this one did not hold the way it should have. I've got some washi tape on both sides of that to keep it sturdy, but it's just not holding. And every time I pick it up, then it's got to come up here. Oh, I see what's happening. I see what's happening. This little piece is pulling it out when there we go. Problem solved, I do believe. Okay. Yep. That looks good. Now, let's put it in here. Put it as far in as we can. And then let's clip the other side. All right, so now that should, when we run the template and poke the holes, that should, and I actually would like to have them standing up just a little bit. I know they make the book cradles that you can get that will do just this. If I can just get one side. All right, and make sure my top is at the top. Okay, now when I do this, I've got a whole lot of room down here at the bottom. So what I need to do is put this in here the way I want it to line up. And then top to bottom is what I'm talking about. How I want it to line up top to bottom. And then push my template is going all the way to the top of the book, and then this one goes all the way to the bottom, and then it's, what did I do with that washi tape? I think it's some washi tape again. This one's a little more complicated because I don't have the signatures going all the way to the top of the journal. So I have to, since I made my template go top to bottom, I sort of have to put this in here, lay my template down, again in the crease, but all the way at the top. And then it will go down to the bottom. And then it should work just fine. As long as we get them lined up the same on the signature and the cover. Oops, that's not it. All right, this is the first one. So let's tie it in. Now the key here is you want to go 3 times the length of your spine, 1, 2, 3, and that'll still be extra, more than what you need, but let's find my needles that came with this. And we'll sew this one in, and then we'll do the second one. And we'll be just about done. All right, this is, in case you've never seen this before, this is called the 3-hole pamphlet stitch. Now, if you want your knots to be on the outside, then you start on the outside. But if you want them to be on the inside, then you start on the inside. See, and this is where I always have a problem. There we go. So I'm going to leave this, and then I'm going to go in. It doesn't matter if you do bottom or top at this point. Go in either the bottom or the top. I'm just trying to get it in that hole. And then in the hole here. Come on. So this, I really hate sewing in signatures. I'm not good at it. I don't like it. And it's just a challenge for me. But I'm not going to pause it. I may pause it when I sew the second one in, so you don't have to sit through it. But I want to show you what you may possibly run into. That first hole went in just fine, but I can never get... See, this bottom hole is right there. Oh, and then when it comes up this side, it's not quite in the same spot. All right, so there we go. We're up through the middle. Now we're going to go down. We're going to go all the way to the top, okay? Or if you had come in at the top, you go all the way to the bottom. And, oh, that one went through really nice. And I'm just trying to hold this so it doesn't pull all the way through. And then we'll put it through that top hole. So I end up sewing kind of through the cover and the signature a little bit separately. And as long as when you put it all together, it pulls nice and tight, it's fine. You're not going to hurt anything. All right, so now what we have to do is go back through that middle hole. And you see it's right here. Can y'all see it's right there? But you have to be careful not to run the needle through any of the thread that's already there. Because if you do, you will, you'll sew it in place basically, and you won't be able to see now. And I'm going to put one thread on each side of that center piece. I'm going to pull pretty tight. I'm going to look at the back. Oh, you can hardly see those with the color we chose. All right, I'm going to pull that real tight. And you can use anything to do this with. You just have to be careful that if you, like this is waxed cotton cord and it's not going anywhere. If you use like embroidery thread, there's our first signature in. If you use embroidery thread and you push that hard, you pull that hard, you're likely to break it. So be careful about the thread you use, that it's strong enough to hold up to the pulling and tugging to get it in there straight. All right, I'm going to pause us so that I can put the other one in. I don't have to do both of them on camera. If you need to see that again, you can certainly rewind it. All right, I'll be right back. All right, I've decided to do the sewing. I turned the camera back on because that's the hardest part. I mean, poking the holes in isn't. 2 and 3. Poking the holes isn't that difficult. It's the sewing where it gets tricky. And here's my, we'll see if this one goes a little bit smoother than that first one did. They either go great or they just really suck. Oh, okay, that one went right through the middle just like it should. And so I'm going to put it in the middle hole. Come on. This time I'll go to the top. To the bottom last time, and it really truly doesn't matter which way you do it. It does not matter either way. And see, I have to pull the signature away and look to get the needle in the hole. I can't just lay down the signature and have it work. And maybe what I should be doing is clipping it onto the journal itself so it stays on there. But I just haven't ever done it that way. And maybe that's what I'm doing wrong. Okay, where's my hole here? I'm not seeing it. I think that's it right there. Yep. Right there. Sometimes I have to look through the little individual pages to make sure that I'm hitting the hole just right and not making new holes. That's the other thing that you have to be careful of, is that as you're, oh, don't tell me I did that. I did. That's okay, I can fix it. You don't want to make new holes. That is a bad thing. I pulled my string through. It should be in the inside of this book, so I'm just gonna thread it back through the book and put it back in this little hole here. There we go. And then but yeah, I really have I have a hard time sewing in signatures. And you know, as I'm now thinking about it, maybe it's because I'm just clipping the signature to itself. Maybe I should be clipping it in the book. Maybe that, ouch. Maybe that would help. Okay, let's go back up to the middle. And again, I usually go to the right or left of the hole a little bit, like over to the right-hand side of the hole or the left-hand side, so that I don't go through the, oh, come on. So I don't go through the thread again, because that, you'll be really mad at yourself if you go through the thread. You won't be able to tighten it. And that won't be a good thing. Okay, there we go. All right. Okay, and you want to put one on one side of the center thread and one on the other. and then pull. Oh, so here's what happens when you put it through the thread. So let me show you. I got it a little bit. Do you see how it's going through the thread right there? Can you see that? So what I'm going to do, that's not real bad. I'm just going to pull this back through, and then it won't be going through anymore. I'm going to pull it back where it went through. That one was not the end of the world. Sometimes you get that and it really screws up your whole thing. All right. Okay, we're going to tie those really tight. The thing I like about this wax thread is it really ties tightly and it stays. It doesn't, come up. All right, let me put this back in here before I lose it. And put this other stuff away. That goes in here. I did it again, folks. I forgot to move my mouse out of the way after I unpaused you. So I got all the signatures in. I pulled the ties that are going through the eyelets, and I tied it. And it is a little bit chunky, but I like it that way. And you really can't see those threads. They really blend in. So, and if you get your holes as even as you can, then they come out really nice and even on the back. They look real nice. All right, let's do a flip through. All right, come on. All right, and this will press down over time too. Won't be quite as chunky. All right, so the beginning of the book. This is page 1. These are the girls that I put in. Don't they just look wonderful? And then this was the cover for the first signature. On the inside of the cover, I put some paper. I put a lace pocket, and I've got this little tag. This tag is fabric and paper. Or cardboard. This side was already done, but let's look at it again. It's this, and then when we open it up, it's got a little piece of writing paper in there. Oh, and I used the scalloped edge for my thumb notch. I thought that was kind of pretty. Okay. And then this page is new. Well, it's newly decorated. This pocket we recently did in one of the videos, as well as this little tag. So I used them, and then I put a couple of little butterflies on the page behind. This is just a writing page. These are like postage stamp washi tape. This was already here. It's got a little... Oh, it's got stuff on both sides. Does it open? Nope. I'll put stuff on both sides. This is that little half page or funky page that's put in here. Look at that pretty flower I found to put on there. Then writing. And we've got the middle of this journal, and I used some rub-ons that I thought were really pretty. And then this is the back side of that cattywampus page, and what I did here, I put some stenciling on it, then I put a little pocket on there, and it's this pretty close, it's similar to this cover fabric for the inside cover, and then this is just a little tiny, I think I might have shown you guys this in a previous video, just a little tiny notepad that's held together with a brad. Okay, turn that over, and then we've got another flower, and then we've got this little tag, but this is a pocket, side tuck, writing page. This is what I just added back. This has got, it's got a little writing page with a penguin on it, but I gotta get his little flipper down. Can't have that sticking up. And then that just unfolds. Okay, so that's a little penguin in there. And then a little envelope that fits over the flap. And then it's got this little micro mini bulldog clip. This page, I think we had at least part of them. No, maybe not. I don't know if we had this in there. I don't know if we did this on another, but anyway, it's the book page turned over to make a pocket with this tab, a little label, and a butterfly. And then in the back pocket, I have this little card with a butterfly. And then on the back cover, I did some mulberry paper and a sunflower rub-on. All right, second signature. This has got a little pin here with a key dangling. And inside again, I've got a lace pocket. And then we've got this, which is a card. So someone can write with that. This we had before. This is a side pocket with a cute little, oh, look at the back, even has some color on it. Cute little tag. This, I put this cluster on here. I thought that was cute. It's just a little cluster, and I didn't glue it any specific way to make it a tuck or anything. It's just a decorative piece. Writing paper here, and then here, this is another one of the tags that we made recently in one of the videos, and I thought it fit just fine in there. And then I did put a little bit of lace along that. Got a doily. Got a flower here. I'm thinking, I didn't realize that flipped out. Got a flower here. I had put some gesso to kind of lighten up the back of that. So what do I want to do here? I may just put some like tracing paper on that and turn it into a writing spot with maybe a couple of little floral rub-ons or something. I'll turn that into a writing spot. Okay. There's the center. And then we've got the doily again, got another pocket, and then this is the other tab or tag that I made. It goes really nice in there with that blue. All right, now this one didn't get sewn in exactly straight, but that's okay. This one I found in my stash, so I put a little tab here to show you this flips up. You got writing here, you can even write on here, but then it also opens up to the inside, and then you also have a tag with some little tiny ephemera in it. So there's a lot going on in this piece right here. Okay, I'll have to see, this is where my seam didn't fit perfectly in there, but it'll be okay. Writing space. This, that's what I was afraid of. Come on. I glued it down and then I stuck this tag in there and I stuck it down. Okay, come on. Nobody's ever done that before, have they? Okay. We'll put some antiquing around there, and that'll be good as new. So this is a little tag, a nice little shaped tag with a little flippy floppy on it, a little tiny piece of lace. This was a cluster that we made way back, and that just fits in there. This is the back, and again, I covered the inside back covers with paper, put lace pockets, and then in this one I also have another little note card. And then on the very back, I have more of that mulberry paper, and I have a rub-on, a bird on a branch. Isn't that cute? So that's it. That is the finished journal. I'm so glad I finished up this project. There. Let's like pull these apart and make them a little fluffier. There. So there's that. And there's the journal. So if you like it, please give me a thumbs up. Please leave me a comment. If you learned something, I hope you did. Got some ideas, some inspiration. And if you're interested in buying the journal, please send me a note, inkedpulp@gmail.com, and let me know if you're interested in buying the journal. And I thank you for coming along for this ride. So this was a big finish for unfinished projects, and I'm so glad it's done now. All right, you guys, I will talk to you later. Thanks for coming along for the ride. Bye-bye.